Hey there, this is Clay, and today is day number 5, where we're talking about the common excuses and reasons that your ex gave you for why they left the relationship, why they broke up with you. And we sent out a survey to you a couple weeks ago asking you what your ex said for why the two of you broke up. And we got in a ton of responses. We looked through them, and we were just kind of addressing the most common responses that people have sent in, and we're helping you kind of deflect them and move past them. So today, this one was pretty popular. It was basically that your ex said that you need space, that they need space in order to figure out what they want in life. Sometimes people can say this one when they just kind of want to let you down easy. But really, I'm going to assume that they're actually being honest and that they really just want to figure out what they want in life. And what this usually happens, because things have started to feel not good in the relationship. We've talked about this a long time ago. Actually, I haven't talked about this in a while, so it's good that we're bringing this up again. But you can kind of look at your relationship like this sliding scale, okay? On one side, you have things where things feel bad, where your ex definitely wants to leave the relationship, okay? Maybe the two of you are screaming and arguing all the time. Maybe there's a lot of contempt, resentment. Maybe, you guys just don't trust each other. There's been all kinds of betrayals and lying and stuff. And on the other side, there's like the really great relationship where the two of you are head over heels in love. You can't keep your hands off each other. Every night it's just, giggles and smiles, and you just feel so incredibly connected to one another. But in between, there's this great canyon, this great ravine, right? And typically what happens is when a relationship starts, it starts out feeling good. You start out over here. Things feel great as you're exploring one another and you're having fun, you're dating each other, you're kind of learning about each other, you're learning, what you'll do, what you won't do, and stuff like that. And then kind of as things progress, a lot of people tend to sort of slip this way. And sometimes people end up way over here, and that's definitely not a very pretty sight. But as you start to slip this way, there is kind of this like tipping point. There's this kind of this like teeter-totter balancing point where it's like, okay, great, things felt good over here, and then they started to feel a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse, and then like there's this like neutral point where a grain of sand, one way or the other, is going to be like, okay, yeah, maybe we can make this work, maybe we can make this work. Or it's like, no, I don't think so, this isn't going to work. And if it keeps going, it'll get into that bad area. And what's happening when your ex says that they need space to figure things out is that they have started to move toward that bad area where they suddenly are starting to think maybe this relationship isn't good, maybe this relationship isn't going to bring joy to my life. And the way that you do this, you have to understand that every action, everything that you do or don't do is going to have an impact. It's going to either move them towards this side or towards this side, okay? So maybe that time that, you forgot her birthday, that's going to move her over towards this side. Maybe that time that, you woke up early and made pancakes for breakfast, that was over on this side. Maybe that time that you got really angry at him and like chewed him out on the phone for forgetting to grab your purse on the way out the door or something, maybe that was over this side. You get it, right? And the thing is that every action either feels good or it feels bad. And the way that you get back over here is you have to do more things that feel good. And here's the thing though, it can't just feel good for you. It can't just feel good for you. Like a lot of times people will come to us and they'll say like, oh, I wrote my ex this great love poem, or I composed a song for my ex, or, I flew across the country to go to her doorstep and propose to her, but it just all didn't work. It backfired. We've actually gotten stories just like that with all those exact circumstances. And the reason why it doesn't work is because, yes, it may feel good to you. Proclaiming my undying love for someone would feel good. It'd feel good for me to say, I'll love you until the day I die, and, I would die for you and all that stuff. But for your ex, someone who is in that emotional state of being like kind of over on this side of things, that's not what's actually going to feel good. Maybe that feels good over here, but it's not going to feel good over here. And this is something that you really need to understand. This is part of the whole riding the dragon phenomenon that we talk about inside the X Solution program. And of course, if your ex is asking for space, you do want to give them space in a loving and respectful way. You don't want to, do the whole thing where you're calling them like 20 times a day or anything like that. And it's okay if you have done that. I've been there too, but you can recover from that. Don't worry. But what you want to do is you want to respectfully give them that space, but you also want to make sure that your interactions are feeling good so you can keep pulling them towards the good side of things. And the way that you do that is you learn the relational skills and the relational tools that we teach you inside of the X Solution program so that your interactions can really move things in the positive direction rather than in the negative direction. So again, I hope this helps you out. And I just really want you to decide right now whether or not you're willing to understand and believe that, yes, there are actions that you can take that'll make things feel good or make things feel bad. And, if you do want to learn these relational skills and you do want to handle this whole riding the dragon phase that we've talked about today and I think a day or two ago, you definitely want to check out the X Solution program. I'd really like to invite you to sign up for it. It's guaranteed to work. We do have a guarantee, so if you don't like the results you're getting, that's totally fine. We can always, give you your money back. That's totally fine. But I'd just like you to consider signing up, to giving it a try. And again, if you want to do that, you can go down below and click on the button down there and go ahead and sign up. But if you don't think this is a good fit for you, if this just doesn't sound like it's going to help you in your situation, that's fine too. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the biggest excuse that people have sent in of all of them that their ex has given them. This is the top thing that people have said was the reason that their ex said why they broke up with them, why the relationship didn't work. So maybe this is you. I'm imagining probably a lot of people will definitely be saying, yes, this is me tomorrow. So be sure to tune in tomorrow and you'll see what the biggest and most popular excuse that we got in our little survey was. Thanks. This has been Clay.